Hey guys, it's Megan from CrazeDaze. I know I didn't have a video last week. Calm down. My video before that was like super long, so hopefully that makes up for it, maybe. Please don't kill me. So today I thought I would talk about something that is, I guess you could say, kind of important to me in terms of being a college student, and that is biking on campus. Because I have a lot to say about biking on campus. So let me start with biker-pedestrian interactions. So on campus, some places they have these little tiny skinny paths that are like sidewalks that are like a foot wide-ish. Dear pedestrians, those are not for you. Because when you walk on those, people on bikes cannot get around you except by going in the grass. Because then we're not in your way, but also you're not in our way. So, yeah, if you are walking, stay off of those. Not for you. Same thing goes for like the bike lanes, because even if there aren't little skinny paths, some of the sidewalks have like a separate like bike lane where it's like marked, and then if there's a little picture of a person on a bike on that section of the sidewalk, that's not for you if you're walking. Also, it is a lot easier for you to go around us than it is for us to go around you. Especially if it's like a crosswalk, and so we have like not a lot of space and not a lot of time to change direction, especially starting from a stop. So if you're like walking towards someone on a bike, don't keep walking right at them and expect us to be able to go around you. Because what will end up happening is we will like have to slam on our brakes and almost like run you over, and you will be like standing on top of our bike, and it'll just be a really awkward situation. It's a lot easier for you as a person walking to walk around my bike than for me to try and steer when I'm going like half a quarter of a mile an hour and try and go around you. So now on to part 2, which is locking your bike. Bike locking etiquette. So the first thing, I feel like this doesn't even need to be said, but in my experience, it needs to be said. Please don't lock your bike to my bike. Because usually you don't even realize it until like you unlock your bike and then you're trying to get it free and it won't come free, and then you see that their like cable lock goes through one of those little wire things that goes from like your brakes to your bike, that little like loop of a cable thing, and their cable lock just goes right through there. And it's like, it's so close. You're so close to being able to get your bike out, but then you can't. And you don't even realize it until your bike is unlocked because you didn't even see it. It wasn't like it was like around your entire bike. It was just like through that little skinny cable thing. This happened to me at least once this year. It happened to me like 3 or 4 times last year. Don't do that, please. Like, when I lock my bike, I always, like, after I get it locked, I kind of, like, pull it free, like, to make sure my locks are, like, only going around my bike and, like, not going around someone else's bike. Take the extra 10 seconds to make sure that when you put your cable lock around your bike that you're not going around someone else's bike. Yeah, thanks. Also, because you can get usually like a bike on either side of the bike rack. So if there's like 2 bikes, don't like put your bike here, like on the outside of my bike, because then I just can't get my bike out. Because even if your bike isn't actually like locked to mine is now stuck. And like my handlebars are like wedged under your handlebars, and like my pedal is caught in your wheel spokes, and I can't. That happened to me at least once in the past couple of weeks. There are other people on campus who bike, who might, want to get their bike off the bike rack. So think about that when you're locking your bike. Last thing, kickstands. Okay? Bikes have kickstands. It's a really cool thing, actually. You like flip the little thing down, and then your bike doesn't fall over because it like leans on the kickstand. Way too many people kind of rely on their lock to like hold their bike up, It's fine if it's like leaning, if it's like you're in a good spot and your bike is like actually like against the rack and it's like leaning on the rack and it's not gonna fall over. Okay, fine. But if you're kind of like, because I know the bike racks get crowded, so sometimes you gotta kind of back off from the bike rack. So, but if you do that, your bike is not supported enough by the rack, right? So, like put your kickstand up, because otherwise your bike will fall over. And when your bike falls over, it will land on my bike. So now we're back at the same thing where I can't get my bike out because it's wedged under your bike. And yeah, the other day I went out to get my bike, as usual, went out to get my bike, and somebody's bike had fallen over and knocked over my bike. My bike was laying on the ground. Was not happy. My bike was laying on the ground. I stand my bike up, and I'm looking at it. I finally get it out. So basically, this cable popped out and it won't go back in, and I'm guessing it happened when my bike fell over. If that is the case, that person like broke my bike, because after I went to go ride it, it no longer shifts. So I have like a 21 speed. So I have three gears on my left shifter and 7 on my right shifter, and my right shifter no longer works. Like, I mean, it turns, and it turns really easily, which is unusual, because it was already kind of broken. Like, I could only get like 5 out of 7 gears or something, and it sometimes doesn't shift, whatever, but it does shift after a minute. Like, it takes a minute sometimes, but it shifts. And now, like, it turns a lot easier than it used to, and it no longer shifts at all. Like, I'll try and shift it, and like I said, sometimes it'll like take a minute, but then it will like kick into the next gear, and it doesn't do that anymore. Like, it just doesn't shift at all. So then I looked, and like that cable that came out, that cable is the cable that goes from the shifter to the derailleur, I think it's called, like whatever the thing that like actually shifts the gears. That's what that cable goes to that came out. So I'm like 90% sure that person whose bike fell into mine, when my bike fell over, that like broke my shifter. So screw you in particular. You messed up my bike. Yeah, I'll probably like take it into the bike shop this weekend sometime and see what's actually wrong with it. But I'm pretty sure that it's now like super messed up. So, moral of the story, kickstands. If your bike is like in a position where it could fall over, put your kickstand up or move it so that it's leaning against something so that it doesn't fall into other people's bikes, because that breaks them. I think that's all I have. Good talk. Yeah, so I know the other people haven't really been doing vlogs, I don't think. We'll see what's going on with the channel. I know everyone is super busy. Yeah, but hopefully more stuff will be coming out of the channel. I just got Steam, just downloaded Steam and signed up for an account, and I just bought Gary's Mod with the intention of maybe playing Prop Hunt or something with the rest of the gang. So look for that, hopefully coming up, maybe, because I think that'd be super fun. And yeah, just keep liking and stuff. Subscribe. Socially awkward penguin right here.